early Sunday morning or late Saturday night, depending on what time zone you are in. It is 12:32 Eastern Time, 11:32 Central Time. I wanted to jump in here and give you guys one more update on the night. Now, I will be up throughout the night, but I am going to try to get at least a couple hours of sleep. Typically, what I do when we have weather events like this is I'll give an update. I'll get an hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep. I'll set an alarm. I'll get up, check things out, 15, 20 minutes, put out an update as needed. Another sleep for a couple hours, and rinse and repeat until, it's the event's over, or, I don't need any more updates anymore. So, it's not going to be a super long update. Both my kiddos want me to come lay with them so they can go to sleep. So they're still up too. So they are also tracking this winter storm with me. This is current radar. We'll do a little bit of a zoom in. We'll actually put a pause on the radar. You guys can see just how far north the warm air has made it. It's made it almost all the way to the Ohio River. We're getting sleet reports all the way up into Hardin County, Litchfield, Lebanon. So this warm air is no joke. It's really pushed through. And then you look just a little bit more to the south, and pretty much everybody down here that is south of the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways is already in that freezing rain zone. I know we have freezing rain here in Greene County. We are approaching 1/10 of an inch already here in Greene County. And that doesn't include any freezing rain that we got before I put my board out. I have a board in the house, and we'll call it my ice board. All it is a decking board. Didn't have nothing on it. I had it inside the house. I literally took it outside, put it on a table, and it's been out there maybe an hour and a half, and it's already got close to 1/10 of an inch on it. If you go outside and feel the snow, I don't know if anybody's been outside. I wouldn't recommend it. It's a little slick. But if you go outside and touch the snow, there's already a glaze of ice on the snow. You have to put a little pressure on the snow to actually break through the top of the ice. So it's 11:35, approaching 1/10. If we don't have 1/10 of an inch, we're just under it. And that's here in Greene County. I'm not speaking for anybody else. So we're going to see, again, another 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours of this. So, this is what I was concerned about. This is what I'm looking at. The data showing it. I think that a lot of the areas that's to the south of this black line that I drew here, the areas here in the X, I think a lot of this area is going to see a 1/2 inch of ice before we change back over to sleet, freezing, or sleet and snow tomorrow. And that's, it's going to be very dangerous. I also seen a post from another weather page, life-threatening. That's probably a little bit of a stretch. There could be some situations where it's life-threatening if people lose power. But 3/4 of an inch of ice typically is not going to be a big, catastrophic event. It's definitely dangerous. It's definitely a big deal. It's definitely going to cause some issues. I'm not downplaying it all. It is a very dangerous situation, but it's not going to be, the end of the world type deal, doomsday stuff. So we're going to hope that we don't get as much as I think we can. But there is a disclaimer. If we do go over 3/4 of an inch, that's when things get real serious, and that's when you probably could have a little bit more, say, life-threatening situations. But, I think 3/4 of an inch is probably the top-off point with this type of setup. But I definitely can see a scenario where a couple of locations maybe get a little bit closer to that 1-inch mark. So we're going to keep an eye on that during the overnight period, but that's definitely not good. Reading through the comments here, got freezing rain in Russell Springs. Hunter Lee's reporting Bowling Green is sleet and freezing rain mix right now. Now, I will say that too. There is a little bit of sleet mixing in here in Greensburg as well. It's kind of going back and forth between the two. The purple on the radar, Julie, is sleet, and the red is freezing rain. Now, again, radar's not 100% correct because the radar is scanning up into the upper atmosphere. This doesn't really tell what's going on the ground. For the most part, it kind of gives you an idea of where the snow's falling and where the freezing rain is falling, and then right in the middle is that sleet. Uh, so, yes, Rebecca, I see you got a report of thunder. Yes, thunder, freezing rain, thunder sleet, thunder snow is possible at times, especially as we get into tomorrow. Looking through the comments, see if there's anything I need to report on. Freezing rain coming down hard in Hinesville. Yes, there is some heavier bands, and who said that? Let me go back up and look at that. Thresha, yes. So look over here in Hinesville. If you look here just to the west, these are some heavier bands of freezing rain here. Hinesville, Cave City, Park City, they're in the northern part of Barron County. And this is going to be moving into Greene County as well. We've seen some heavier bands move through Greene County as well. So, anytime you get these, wouldn't say super heavy, but the moderate areas of freezing rain come in, and that's when you're going to see stuff add up. And if you zoom out here, you've seen this radar kind of fill in. We go all the way to the back. We even go back here to Memphis, the Memphis radar. If we put a motion on this, you can kind of see how there was a dry slot here earlier, right here in this area. Not a lot of precipitation going on. You really see that start filling in here over the last little bit. We go to the Paducah radar, so let's go back here. Put a motion on this radar. It's hard to see from that angle. Let's see, we'll put it. Yeah, right here. The last couple frames, you can kind of see that moisture really building in here, additional development, and that is going to be pushing off here into Kentucky, probably north of us just a little bit. But the main point I'm trying to make here is that a lot of this precipitation to our west is still beginning to ramp up and really get going, and it's really going to start cranking as we head into Sunday. So you look at it right here. Look at the heavier snow bands just north of us here. This is what we was expected to see if this storm went just a little bit more to the south. They're going to get a real thumping of snow up here just north of the river. So it's unfortunate for us and very unfortunate that we're in this ice situation, but that's just part of it sometimes. So let's look in here. So I think 650 people on at midnight. You guys are crazy. Let's look at the latest information here, the latest data. Move some stuff around here. So this is the latest HRRR model. Again, this is, let me get the update here. I know I've had a lot of people ask me, a lot of people saying that storm's been a bust. Again, this is the next 18 hours. I'm just going to sit back here and let it play. This is the next 18 hours of this winter storm. So pretty much the next 18 hours, we're going to see some type of wintry precipitation here in Kentucky. That takes us well into tomorrow afternoon. So let's go do a zoom in here. This is the latest latest information here from the HRRR model that shows our local area here. So pretty much spot on to what's going on right now. Freezing rain ongoing with the sleet just north of that. Again, that sleet, that battleground area is going to be right there, probably just north of the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways. You really see that lift up. In fact, this is probably what the radar looks like right now. So the HRRR model is not as warm as it should be. It's showing the model is a little bit colder because this is kind of what the radar is showing right now. But nonetheless, pretty much along the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways to the south, that's going to be all freezing rain. And then again, I keep stressing to you guys, this thing's really going to get cranked up as we head into Sunday morning. Look at the precipitation really start getting cranked up. You take it back just a little bit. So like right now, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., you see these holes, these donut holes, white. We fast forward it just an hour. They start to fill in a little bit, but you still see these little white spaces. One near Cookeville, one over Greensburg, one over here just to the west of Bowling Green. And then we get into the 2 a.m. This is when the moisture really starts moving in. This is when this storm really starts getting cranked up. Look at 3 a.m. how these are the like dark pinks, dark purples, dark blues. This is when the moisture really gets cranking. This is where we really start putting out some amounts. This is where things are really going to start changing. And it stays like this. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Again, the colder air starts to try to fight back a little bit, but still going to be a battleground for the most of us. So we could see a switch back to freezing rain, a switch back to sleet, back to freezing rain. Could go back and forth here during the morning hours, but this storm, you're talking 5, 6, 7 straight hours. It just does nothing but crank out moisture. We're going on closer to 8 hours now, 9 hours now, 10 hours now. This is where it shows a little bit of change over to rain. I never thought it would get this close to us. So I don't really think that's right. But it could be. There could be a chance that we go over to rain, at least across the southeastern portions, Lake Cumberland area. It won't last long. We'll switch right back over to freezing rain and sleet. And then, again, this is what we're going to be watching here in this time frame, the 3 o'clock p.m. time frame. We're going to watch to see if there's going to be a deformation band formed. The HRRR model is not showing it. It's not showing a deformation band. It's showing one trying to form. There's some heavier snow from Louisville down to E-Town showing up. There's a chance you might get 1, maybe 2 inches of additional snow on top of that, but doesn't really show anything, say from E-Town down to the southwest. There's some snow that shows up near Clarksville. This tells me that it's trying to show a deformation band, but there's nothing really showing up as far as organization, okay? So the best that we might get tomorrow based off the HRRR model as far as snow is maybe a light coating on the back end of it. Now, let's see if there's, real quickly, before we get too caught up in trying to check things out here, let's go to the HRRR model and let's check out what we're looking at as far as ice with the newest update as far as ice accumulations. So still shows not a pretty picture, but 3/4 of an inch of ice. Same situation, basically from Clarksville to Bowling Green up to Richmond, Kentucky. Along that line and to the south and east is going to have your best potential for that 3/4 inch mark. I would say ground zero for that, unfortunately, is probably going to be from Bowling Green up to Campbellsville. Probably have the best chance to see that 3/4 inch of ice. I think pretty much everybody's going to get close to a 1/2 inch. I think that's the area that could see 3/4 of an inch from Bowling Green up to Campbellsville, that area. That would include Mumfortville, the northern part of Barron County, Edmonton probably getting in on that action as well. We'll see how it evolves during the overnight period, but based off the latest data, I think that's the area that has the best chance to see that 3/4 of an inch of ice. So let's look to see what else we got here. See if there's any other models that have come out. Let's see if the Euro shows a deformation band here real quick. This is just pure me being skeptical here, or me being pure nosy. Yeah, so the European tries to form one too. You see it over here over Illinois down to almost Paducah. It tries to form that deformation band, but it doesn't really form into anything. Let's see what else we got to look at here. We'll look at the GFS and see what it shows. Sorry. GFS also tries to show one here too tomorrow afternoon. Here's the low pressure system over here in eastern Kentucky, and that's it moving out. Again, doesn't really show anything indefinite. The NAM model is the same thing. You see this band right here on the back side of it, but it doesn't really show any organization on that. This is the high-res NAM. Now the high-res NAM is a little bit more aggressive with it. So that's at least something going our way. The high res NAM does show pockets of heavier snow on the backside tomorrow, and again that'd be a 1 to 2 inch additional snowfall on the backside of that. I know that's nothing crazy, but we're just kind of we're pulling hairs right now. Let's see if the RAP shows anything. Let me go to this. Yeah, I'm just kind of scanning the models to kind of see if we have any traction on this deformation band. This newest RAP model. There's that area of low pressure that has moved into eastern Kentucky. And it shows, at least some type of organization, but it's nothing organized yet. So this one might need a little bit more in the oven as far as checking out, checking the information on that deformation band to see if we have any traction on that. So we'll know something a little bit better tomorrow morning on that. Again, that's still up in the air. We could not see it at all. So back to the current radar, I'll go look at some comments here real quick. Again, not going to go too crazy on comments. I'm going to scroll down. Yeah, freezing rain on 55. Yeah, I got a lot of people reporting freezing rain and sleet. I'm not going to go through and answer all the comments and stuff. Like I said, I'm going to try to make this one a little bit shorter of a video. Just wanted to give you guys an update. Everything's still on track. Not expect to see any more snow until tomorrow. Appreciate everybody's comments, I really do. Bill Kirby, not as bad as everybody thought. Let's wait till we get done. Let's wait till we get done with the storm first. Because if we get ½ inch of ice up to 3/4 of an inch, that's going to be a pretty serious situation. Roddy's got a little freezing rain in Loretto. Like I said, this freezing rain's going to pick up. Jason, as far as waiting on the power lines before snapping, I mean, if you get the wind in there, that's when things get really bad. Luckily, we're not going to have a lot of wind. So that is good. That's good on that. But typically anything over a ½ inch of ice is when things start to go downhill. I just seen where Paducah's starting to change some of their winter storm warnings to ice storm warnings over in their neck of the woods. I'm almost wondering if the National Weather Service in Louisville doesn't do that as well. We'll keep an eye on that. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to end this live stream. Like I said, just want to give you guys one more update. You guys can see the radar. And this is what we're expected to see for the remainder of the night. Pretty much along the Western Kentucky and Bluegrass Parkways, if you are south of this line, anywhere in this X, you're probably going to stay freezing rain the rest of the night with maybe a little bit of sleet mixed in. So ice storm is going to be setting up in this neck of the woods. I know here in Greene County, we've already got almost 1/10 of an inch of ice. Anybody that's south of this, more than likely is going to get close to a ½ inch of ice, potentially up to 3/4 of an inch. So hopefully not. Hopefully that's not how things evolve during the overnight period, but I just don't see any way that we're going to avoid that. I think everybody South of this line is going to see anywhere between a half inch up to 3/4 of an inch of ice. There could be some isolated higher amounts as well. Hopefully not, but that's what it's looking like based off the radar and the newest information that's been coming in here over the past, say, 6 hours or so. So I'll be up throughout the night giving updates as needed. If I need to throw in another live sometime mid-morning, I might do that as well, but I will be up during the overnight period giving you guys updates. So if you don't have to travel, stay home, stay safe. Hopefully we don't lose power, but I'm sure there would be some isolated power outages, if not multiple power outages, if we get that amount of ice. So we'll see how it all evolves, see how it all plays out. But appreciate you guys tuning in for the latest update, and I appreciate your support, especially over the last week. So just hang in there. We'll all get through this, and I will keep you guys updated as we progress into the overnight period and into tomorrow